So I hope, Sinvitra, you're getting it right.
Yes, yes.
So I was talking about that if you have an experience in any company for a long time, if you want to mention two projects, do this, but do not mention any date here. So you can play with it. Now I can show that I have 6 years of experience in Azure in Sybase and 1 year as a system admin. Or I can show that I have 5 years as a system admin, 2 years as in Azure. Okay, whatever I want to. So something like this you can mention. So that's all about resume. Before I move to Naukri profile, Kumail wanted to share something. Yes, Kumail. Kumail, can you hear me? Kumail, you're on mute. If you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, I guess he had something to share. He said he wanted to speak for a minute. Uh, we'll give him a chance once he resumes. Right. So let's talk about Naukri now.
Sorry, I got a call.
Yeah. Sorry, Kumail, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, I got a call. That's why.
So you wanted to share something, you said?
So I just wanted to tell others that like how Sohail explained about everything right now about our resume, how you should talk and whatnot. So I think I was a little bit fortunate enough that in this company I was taking interviews as well. So that's when I got to understand, because in my last batch, Sohail had mentioned that an interviewer just has 20 minutes or 30 minutes. They don't have much of their time. So don't there are simple tricks on how to go ahead and utilize that time. So generally, your introduction, as he mentioned, put it in detail. But to be honest, from maybe the interviews that we took, around 50, 60 of them, just to hire three candidates, uh, the introduction nobody's literally interested if you're just talking uh, anything about your hobbies or anything, because we always tell them speak about yourself, but only on the technical terms. So that's when they start explaining things. Ensure that you speak only what you know, because the moment you start saying anything outside, that you have done this, you have done that, it's very easy to catch, even for someone like me. Like, I'll give you an example. There was a person who said that he worked on creating tenants as well, which we all know it's not possible, right? Because all this is done by different teams. So that's where, when he was giving an introduction, that's when we stopped him, and we were two people on the panel. And that's when we asked him, tell us the whole process of how you created the tenant. And he was not able to answer. And that guy got rejected in just 3 minutes, just because he couldn't answer how he created a tenant and how he proceeded with it, or how the design was. So, and your resume, also what you mentioned on your resume, as Sohail mentioned, that if you've written firewall, if somebody just sees firewall, they start asking you questions. He's right. Because if I had to just pull up somebody's resume, if I scroll down and there are a few things which I read as keywords, based on those keywords, I'll start asking questions. For example, if I saw in someone's resume virtual machine, I would directly stop them at whatever their introduction is, and I would tell them, okay, tell me, if I am the client and I want a whole virtual machine setup, what are the processes and what are the questions you'll ask me? And trust me, there are many people, around the 50 candidates, I'll tell you, there were almost 45 of them who just put things, those keywords to get their resume selected. They had no work experience on Azure. So if you have gone through Soilwise classes and you just follow what he says, I think it will be very easy for you to crack the interviews. And I think you guys are fortunate enough that the first batch people are there who can show you a way on how to give the interviews and how to crack them. That's it from my end.
Thank you for the insight, Kumail. Right, guys. So I hope you do not have any more questions on resume. Let's quickly discuss the Naukri profile. And still, if you have any questions after this, feel free to ping in group. Kumail is there, Arbaz is there. You can, or just drop a question in group. Someone will answer. Like yesterday, Kumail had some question about related to Linux. I answered few of them, and later I was busy, and someone from the Linux expertise they answered. So make sure you do that. Right? Talking about Naukri again, whatever I'm discussing here, these are just based on my experience. These are suggestions. These are not ऐसा कोई industry best practice नहीं है. Then you do have to do it. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, right? I'm just sharing it because by doing this we have achieved good results. We as in not only I have done it with my previous batch, उसके पहले friends, relatives जो भी ये करता, we have been doing this, and it's not only for Azure, be it for service desk, development, or any job or anything. We have been doing this and we have been getting good results. Okay? So make sure that first thing your profile is completed 100%. Okay? I understand that this is not a matrimony site. What do they have to do with your photograph? Right? But put it, that is how it works. It's their algorithm. If your profile is 100% completed, it will appear in the good results. It will appear in the search which recruiters are doing. Okay, if you're on notice period, do mention your notice period here. Okay, your name, your designation, whatever you're doing, do mention here. Your package, do mention that. Okay, don't worry, no one else is going to see this. Only the recruiter, and as it is, you have to declare your package to them. So do mention it. It helps them to target the correct candidates, and it helps you to get the correct calls. If you do not mention package here, let's say if I mention zero, and I can start getting call for 5 or 6 LPA, right? And which I don't want. For example, I'm just sharing an example, which I don't want. So I'm unnecessarily wasting my time. Instead, I'll write here that okay, I am looking for, or maybe I'll just mention 10 LPA. So whatever calls you will get for jobs which are offering more than 10 LPA, only for those. Okay. Make sure you update your resume here. Make sure you come here every day and edit something. Even if it is a dot, single dot, do that. Save it. The next day come and remove the dot. Save it. That's all. Because if you edit this, it will appear in the top search list. Okay, resume headline, you can mention something like this. I mean, whatever this is, I have changed something for because these sessions are being recorded, so didn't want to put my actual information here. That's why I've manipulated some information here. You can mention here that you're looking for Azure Administrator. You are an engineer with 8 years of experience as an Azure Administrator. Whatever you feel like doing it. Key skills. This is very important, guys. Come here and mention as many as possible. I'm not sure if there is some restriction nowadays. It used to be completely restriction free. I remember adding 12 to 15 skills, but now if there are any restrictions, make sure you choose them very wisely. Okay, let me see. Okay, I guess I can add. Okay, but as of now, I'm not looking for a change, not looking for a job, so I have just left it. But you can mention whatever you are good at. Not necessarily all related to Azure. Prior to Azure, if you are on Windows, do mention Windows. If you are on Citrix, mention Citrix. If you are on VMware, mention that. Right? Linux, do mention that. Application support, whatever you have been doing, do mention that. Key skills, but not many of them, right? You should not start getting calls or or you should your resume or your profile should not tilt towards that. Maximum you should have from Azure, minimum just one or two. Just one or two skills you can have from outside. Or if you want, you can simply leave it on this. Same thing here. Once you create your resume, guys, properly, then you won't have to work much. Same thing, you can just copy and paste. If you see, I've simply copied and pasted here. Okay, simply copy and paste. Make sure you type your start date, end date, everything here very properly. If there is any employment, if you're on notice period, do mention that. This is done. Key skills we have discussed, employment we have discussed, education, do mention. Why? Because there are sometimes there are openings who are looking only for masters. And if you have completed your masters but you have not updated that, you're losing on those opportunities, right? So do mention your education. I mean, keep it up to date. That is the reason I'm saying that make it 100%. And if you have to do it 100%, you will have to mention everything. ITS skills. Under ITS skills, do mention this. Even if you don't have much of experience, it's just a minute. I'm getting a question, but what if we... But what if they ask you out of our field when we add another key skill? No, so I'm not asking you to add anything fake, guys. See, that is the uh, key mantra I would say, right? Do not add anything. Do not add anything where you have not worked, like Kumail said. Just now he mentioned, right? Do not mention anything. Do not mention anything. When I say fill it, when I say write something, I'm not saying write anything. Write what we have been discussing, right? What we have been practicing, right? What you know well, right? What you can perform a practical on, right? What you can speak on. Only those topics I'm talking about. Just for the sake of writing, do not write anything. Okay. Now, if you go back and check the resume, the admin resume which we were discussing, you can mention all of this. I don't think so. There is a single point which you cannot do except this one. Okay. All of this we have already covered, like working portal through Terraform. Make sure the spellings are correct. See, this is just a dummy resume. Fine. So it's okay here. But now if you see, do not make this kind of mistakes. So make sure that whatever you can do, VMS's deployment, I'm sure you can do it. We have done it. If you can't do it, go back and watch the recording. If you don't understand, ping me. We'll conduct the session again. But watch the recording first. Okay. Watch the recording, go to portal, try deployment. So once you know that, why not? Why can't you write it? Okay. So write only those things which you can work on. Project, guys, it's up to you. If you're not getting calls, if you think thoda sa added advantage milega, mention project. Otherwise, I have not done that and I have been getting good responses. But it's up to you. I leave it up to you. Profile summary we already discussed. Write something like this. If you're on notice period, mention that I'm an immediate joiner. I'm available in 15 days. That there's no right or wrong. यहाँ कोई standard नहीं है. Okay. ये नहीं यार, how will it sound? Will I sound greedy? No. Mention it. If you're immediate joiner, mention it that I can join immediately. I'm available. I'm available in 10 days. Something like this. Your LinkedIn profile, very important, guys. Make sure that there are no contradiction. It should not happen that your resume says, now if I click on my LinkedIn profile here, okay, and if I open this resume, Hussein, could you send the resume? We'll check it right away. मैं भी check कर लूंगा, बाकी सब भी check कर लेंगे. Okay, so if I open my resume here, it says I am currently working with Ice Mortgage Technology. And if I go to my LinkedIn profile, it will say something else, right? So that should not happen. Make sure that whatever you have mentioned in your resume, it is there on your LinkedIn profile, even if your link is not there. Sometimes HR people, if when they have time, or if you're being hired by consultancy, third party consultants, they have plenty of time. They will make sure to go ahead and search your resume, search your LinkedIn profile, and look for it just because they want a correct candidate. They do not want fake experiences. So it happens that people put fake experience in resume and they forget to change LinkedIn, right? So do not do that. Whatever it is, fake, correct, whatever it is, there should not be any contradiction in your LinkedIn profile and your resume. If you're saying XYZ on your resume, should be XYZ on your LinkedIn profile. If you're saying ABC on LinkedIn, it should be ABC on your resume. Is it clear, guys? Work sample, if you have any, if you have updated anything on GitHub or anything, mention it here. Okay, if you don't have, it's okay. White paper, it's the same thing. I mean, I don't have to read everything here. Certifications do add, and I'm suggesting you guys that at least go for one certification minimum if your company is paying. Okay, do not spend money. Otherwise, the moment your interview is clear, your new company will pay for that. And there's nothing that you can't get a job without certification. I have a good list of people who have got a better package without certification. Kumail, did you have certificate before applying? I'm not sure if Kumail had. Arbaz didn't have. Do we have Tabrez here? Tabrez didn't have.
Yeah, I think I had, but it was a very long time ago that I had done.
So you didn't have a fresh certificate, right?
No,
Right.
no.
So don't worry, guys. Do not think that you will miss on opportunities just because you do not have certification. But it's always better option to have. It's always good to have. So if your current company is paying, don't tell them that you are looking for a job. That is the reason you want certification, right? You can say that I'm looking. opportunities in the current organization for Azure, for cloud, hence I want to go with the certification. If they are reimbursing that, it's well and good. Go ahead and complete your certification, add it here. And if no one is paying and if you don't want to spend money, at least go for AZ900. That is the free certification. There should be something on your resume that you are certified, Azure certified. Okay. uh Rest details are basic language and everything, so you can fill it as per your whatever uh, expertise you have. I mean, whatever language you know, fill that. Right? So this is about Naukri profile, and this is about your. When you go to LinkedIn, also, guys, you can create a job profile, job alerts. Let me show it to you. Make sure your LinkedIn is up to date. Okay. I click on job. I'm looking for Azure Administrator jobs. Here it is, and I will on the alert from here. Okay, so all jobs which are, and you can you can have more filters like location. You can do that. Okay, so you'll start getting calls from here. Initially, guys, no matter where you're getting call from, you have sent it on WhatsApp. Okay, Hussein, I'll check it. Yeah, send it on WhatsApp. I'll drag it here. Okay, so no matter where you're getting call from, do not say no. If it is from Chennai, that's fine. Not talking about Cloud DB. Okay, see, this is very suitable job. Though it looks a small organization, maybe a startup, or I am not even sure, it could be a big organization also. I don't know what it is, but go ahead and apply for it. Go ahead and apply on Naukri also. Go ahead and apply whatever you see. Let the calls come. No matter how many calls you are getting, let them come. Attend them. Okay, you will have a good practice of the interview. You getting my points? You should be able to give interview. You will know what kind of questions they are asking. You will know what kind of objections they are taking. You will get a brief idea. Once you think that okay, now it is a good time, then come back again. And I told you that keep on adding or editing your resume, your Naukri profile every day, right? Then come back and then put more filters. Now I do not want calls from Chennai. Now I do not want calls from Hyderabad. I want calls only from Pune and Mumbai. If those are your preferences, based on if someone is from Bangalore, obviously they will select Bangalore. If someone is from Chennai or someone is in Pune but they are okay with Chennai, whatever your preference is, right? Then select it. And then you will start getting actual calls, and then you will have an idea that what are they asking in your interview. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Hussein's resume. He has shared. Mm, let's go through this, guys, quickly, and then we can finish our session for today. About interviews, guys. Yeah, one more thing very quickly about interviews. I'll check with you on individual basis that what are the suitable times for you. I'll check with the panel. Few of them we have in-house. Kumail wants to volunteer for that. Kumail will be there in the panel. I will be taking most of the interviews, and I'll see if someone from my previous company or my current company, if they can give some time in conducting interviews. I'll ask them to conduct few, and I have other friends. So we'll have mock sessions, right? And all of these, guys, do not take this lightly, because all of these people to whom I'm going to ask a little bit of help on this one, these are from interview panel. Like Kumail is there on interview panel, right? So when these guys are taking your interviews, they will not create dummy questions just for this interview. They will simply ask what they normally ask. So take these interviews also seriously. uh, do some preparation. And people who are joining that session, who will be joining those sessions, what I'll do, see, whoever wants to volunteer or whoever wants to give the interview first, on one-on-one basis, I'll connect with them. I'll check their time. Okay, they check their suitable time. Obviously we'll have to work as per the panelist time. Okay, whoever is taking the interview, let's say that they have given two slots, I'll check with you that are you comfortable in one of these slots. If it is there, I'll share an invitation, okay, to you, to the interviewer. Obviously I will be there, and I will mark all of you. I'll share that in the group also. But remaining of you, I know there are not many people, but this is being recorded, so I'm just addressing all. Okay, so all of you who are getting this link, you please be on mute spectator. Even if someone is answering incorrect, completely incorrect, do not prompt, do not correct. Let the person give the interview. Those 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever that, those 40 minutes they belong to the person who has volunteered. So people who are joining as a spectator, please do not prompt at all. Not a single prompt. No, not in text, WhatsApp, call. Do not unmute yourself at all. If you think that you have some confusion that ये क्या टाइप का क्वेश्चन हुआ यार, इंटरव्यू ने ऐसा कैसे पूछ लिया, ये आता भी है क्या, ऐसा होता भी है क्या, और what kind of answer is this, will it work or will he not be thrown out directly? If you have these kind of questions also, keep them to yourself. We'll discuss once the interview is done. Normally we have 40 hours session, right, this Zoom session. So we'll keep 30 minutes for interview, and we'll keep remaining 10 minutes for the questions post the interview. In these interviews, you don't have, we will not, obviously will not be discussing anything on package or stability or anything. So 30 minutes are good enough. In real interview also, if it is of 50 minutes, 20 minutes आपके वैसे भी introduction इसमें उसमें ही चले जाते हैं, technical 30 minutes का ही होता है. So here also we'll do the same thing, but we'll keep it only for 30 minutes. So we'll focus on technical questions directly. And the person who's being interviewed, sorry, for example, Sanmitra, you, okay, I am expecting, I'm or suggesting you guys to turn on the camera, right? Do not hesitate. Turn on the camera. Treat it as as your actual interview. Do we have Sanmitra? Yeah. So Sanmitra, I am planning to start it with you if you have time or whenever it suits, right? So whenever
Mhm.
you give interview, make sure your camera is on, and then after that, once the camera is on, it doesn't bother to me whether you're reading it from somewhere, you have notepads, you have chats, you have written it on your hand, you are doing, you're cheating. I don't mind that as far as it is not visible to the panelist. Okay, see, in your real interview also, guys, you will have this liberty. And all of, even when I take interview online, I know the person is sitting on laptop, maybe he has another screen, he has Google, right? So that is not cheating, I won't call it cheating. I know that he is reading it from somewhere, but I am happy because I know that this person can Google and answer my queries, this person can Google and get my job done. So when you will be working, actually, you will not be working from some cave or some remote location where you won't have Google, right? So as far as you can get my work done without any error, any issues, correctly, even with the help of Google, I am okay with that. So even if I come to know that someone is reading to a little extent, I will ignore it. But yes, if someone is completely reading everything and I can see that he cannot even make an eye contact and he's just reading, straight away no. Right? So Sanmitra, you are free to keep that OneNote open. You can make your own cheats. You want posted, you can sticky, you want to use anything, whatever you want to do that, do it. I don't mind as far as it is not visible. Okay, make sure that you do this in the mock interviews also, because when you do it here, then it will be a bit easier for you to do in your actual interviews. Is it clear?
Yes.
So each candidate, I'm planning to have at least 2 interviews. Post that if someone wants more, we'll arrange them those also, but minimum 2, because see, now we don't have a huge list of candidates. I guess Samitra, you are there, Hussein is there, Srishti will be there, I guess, Yogesh if he is there, maybe. So
Correct.
yeah, not we hardly have few people, so we can afford that 2 interviews. Okay. Srishti, in this batch at least we won't have any mock interviews for development, and for tech support that will be based on Azure, what we have been training. So I don't think so it is useful for you. Still, if you want to try, you can give it a try. Okay. For
Okay.
development, yeah. Sorry, you're saying something.
Sir, I just want a support for the development because service desk I already prepared all the questions and
Mhm.
communication questions also I already prepared. I just want to give the mock interviews.
Mock interviews on development, right?
Yeah, development as well as service desk.
Okay, fine. Let me say something. Well, I'll arrange something for you. See, development, I can arrange that for you, but development, you don't even require a mock interview. You will get it on. When it comes to development, for sure, they do share the screen or they do ask you to log into some portal, write some code. I'll share the process with you. I don't want to get that in this recording. I'll connect with you separately. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So this is the process which we will follow, Sanmitra Hussain. Okay. Uh, so let's quickly go through with this resume. Hussein has created this resume, and then we'll finish today's session, and then we'll meet in mock interviews directly. So Samrita, you can also go ahead, go through this resume, and let me know if you find something which can be changed, which can be amended. Kumail, please have a look at this. Yeah, I'm also going through this. Experience of.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Rishti.
Is there any consultancy for the development or the technical jobs? Because till now I didn't get any consultancies.
So you won't require consultancies if you update your profile very properly on Naukri portal. You won't require any consultancies. There are,
But
obviously there are, but most of
but
the
I
jobs you
didn't
will
get
get
any.
from portal.
But I didn't get any calls till now.
See, because I'll tell you what happens. I'm not sure how you have updated your Naukri profile, but you do not have experience in development, right? In development, most of the time, you will see the requirement for experienced candidates. And for freshers, you'll have to settle with either it has to be a campus placement, right? Or you'll have to settle with some small firm or some startup where they won't even pay a good stipend, something like that. It happens, and not only in development. Even these guys now, these guys have been working from long time. That is the reason we are discussing on a different track. But someone who comes as a fresher, for them also applies the same thing. If you remember Shahrukh from your English speaking classes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He also got very less package in services, but it was his first job, so he had to accept it. So, similar will happen. Similar thing will happen in development also. You'll have to target some startups, but they won't pay you well. I've seen people who started their career with nothing. They just worked for free, 4,000, 5,000. But yes, later on they got it. That is a better truth of development. Still, if I find anything, I'll surely let you know.
Okay.
And moreover, openings, and that is second, the primaries. Uh, Not talking about you, we never discussed on the technical terms when it comes to development, but most of the time people say development, but when it comes to development, if I share my screen and ask someone just to write a code in the same language which they are planning to, which they are claiming to be master in, they can't even write a two-liner code. That is the very bitter truth of development interviews. Sorry. Okay, so still let me get in touch with you and we'll discuss that. uh Hussein, so see, if you guys see, Hussein has removed the LinkedIn link. So as I'm saying, it's completely up to you. You want to keep it, you want to add it, it's completely up to you. Tata, team size 4, deployment, Azure network experience, express route, Azure DNS. Guys, I have not covered Azure DNS, right? So if you're writing something which I have not covered, make sure you read it from Google. I have not covered Azure DNS because implementation team, they never use Azure DNS, right? So if you're writing something, I know that this it is there in my resume, but I've told you that there are many more other things also in my resume. Do not copy all of them. I am pretty sure about it that we have not had any session in this previous batch or the current batch for Azure DNS. So if you're mentioning everything in anything here, Make sure you read about it or simply remove it. Up to you. Okay.
Fine, I'll remove it.
Responsible for system application performance monitoring, build new environment for deploy. Completely fine. VMSS, Bastion configuration, VNet pairing, hub and spoke. We have done this. Make sure you read it properly. One more thing, guys. Either have full stop on at the end of all sentences or don't have. Okay. Either have them or either don't have. Few of the points there are full stop. Few of the points there are no full stops. Okay, or there's no full stop. So don't do that. Normally bullet points won't have full stop, so you can remove all of them. Sorry. Bastion responsible for network, fine. Working on portal through PowerShell, fine. Call standby duty platform, schedule change, fine. Fine. But practice this, guys. The moment you say that you have experience in a deployment of application gateway, they will ask you. They will ask you questions. Okay, when you go to deploy an application gateway, what are the options do you see? What are the mandatory options? What are the optional options, right? So do make sure that you deploy them. Attend daily DSR, it's fine. Azure Site Recovery as a part of project. We set up Azure Site Recovery, it's fine. VM migration has to be there. And when I'm saying that if you are not comfortable with something, don't mention it, that does not mean you do not mention anything, right? Azure migration, you have to mention.
No, I just have one more thing to add here. Hussein, if you see that you mentioned about traffic manager load balancers, right? And then you've mentioned even down application gateway and all of that, correct? And then you've mentioned about VNet peering and all of this. Now, these are some of the
Yeah.
most favorite points of people to go ahead and attack you, okay, and ask you questions just based on this. If you don't answer these points well, they'll understand you've just faked your resume. So ensure that these big terms, if you're using, you know each service very well, and you're able to speak about it. Okay.
Because Kumail, VNet pairing I have done in practical. So just on that basis, regarding VNet pairing, hub and spoke.
The point is, Hussein, let it be in. Don't remove them. The thing is, the point is that whatever you're mentioning here, make sure you know it.
Okay, fine.
And out of those, Kumail is saying specifically these VNet pairing, VNet, virtual machine, subnet. These are very easy and these are very catchy words. So they will simply ask you about it. Okay, you have mentioned it, just talk about it. Designed and
So regarding,
implemented.
sorry to interrupt you. Regarding PowerShell, I'll just tell small thing that I was getting scripts.
Same thing.
From,
We already discussed,
yeah.
right? What you have to say
Right.
about PowerShell. Same thing. Designed and implemented various storage solution using blob and file storage to support application requirement and provide effective solution. So the moment you say designed, Hussein, I will have a different set of questions for you. What was the benchmark of designing? What all conditions did you consider while designing? Which tool did you use for designing? Which method did you use for designing? Which other operator did you compare with before designing? What all parameters did you discuss before designing? Did you have any meetings with stakeholders before designing? Did you consider the gradual movement of data which keeps increasing every year before designing? So the moment you put a word designing, it will give you a different set of question. So refrain from using these words, guys. See, implementation is something different. Implementation is something you have something in writing in your SR or email or low level diagram or somewhere you implement it. Someone will ask you, why did you deployed 4 storage account? Why did you deploy 2 virtual machine and why in East US? Why not in West US? You have the answer. It was there in my service request. It was there in my low level diagram. But when you say designed, then what are the prerequisite did you follow? What are the prerequisite did you consider? How did you design, right? So designing, it's altogether a different game. So do not mention anything like this. Here also, design and implemented high availability solution. So if you can design an high availability solution, then the question is what all factors did you consider while designing? You getting the point?
Okay, fine. I will
Samitra?
remove that now.
Yeah, designing वाला कहीं पर भी कुछ भी मत लिखो. Simple. Samitra, did you get it?
Yes, got it.
Right. Do not mention anywhere designed. Any in your interview also do not say that. Variant के interview में Irfan, you know him, right? Hussein? Irfan
Yeah, I know him.
started with
Yeah.
administrator, and administrator के answer में he said 2-3 words that I did, and the interview was shifted to designing questions, and then he was not able to answer anything. Which tool did you use? Which currency did you consider? Which region did you consider? Why did you consider that region? Why not this region? What all services? I mean, in number of questions. वो एक different इस पे चला जाता है. So do not mention anything about designing. This is good. You removed all other things. This is fine. And I guess this you have mentioned as your different project, right?
Yes, correct.
Looks good. Just you can give a heading project 1, project 2, and even if you don't do that, that's fine. It is very clearly visible. So looks good to me, Hussein. You can just make these minor changes, remove all designs, see if there are no duplications. See to it that there are no duplications, and yeah, should be fine then. You can remove this also. 24/7 platform call. This is sort of support thing, and if you want to keep it, you can keep it. No hard. Okay.
No, I'll remove it then.
It's up to you. Completely fine. Yeah, looks good to me. Do it, update it in your Naukri profile, and hopefully you should start getting calls. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll get in touch with you for mock calls, and I'll let you know how to proceed with it then.
Yeah, just one question,
Yes, Hussain.
Sohail, regarding LinkedIn. Okay, I have part in SAP and part in cloud consulting. So that will be okay, right?
Why not? That's completely fine.
Okay, and in this LinkedIn, do I need to mention role as a cloud consultant or just as a cloud engineer?
And that's okay. You can simply write this technical analyst is good and more than enough. Or simple like this
fine.
also, it's fine. Technical analyst, cloud engineer, cloud admin, anything will do.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay then, guys, I'll stop the session. We'll see you in interviews then. But before I do
Thank
that,
you.
guys, make sure your resumes are prepared. Share your resumes, and once I get your resume, then only I will be able to schedule the interviews. Okay, Sanmitra?
Yes.
Okay, guys.
All right. Thanks.